Station 3, Lesson 3, Adverbs. We are on Unit 2. We are on page 12. Welcome to class. We're going to work on pages 12 to 16, and let's get started. Adverbs modify a verb. They're usually made by taking an adjective like quick or complete and adding an ly. Quickly, completely. If there's already a y from adverb like heavy, then add an ily and drop the y. Heavy becomes heavily. Note that very and really don't change when they become adverbs. We're on page 12, top of the page, starter. Very well. Match the adverbs with the pictures. She writes very well. Very is what you use with well. It rained heavily yesterday. It rained heavily yesterday. They ran quickly to the emergency room. They ran quickly to the emergency room. Emergency room is where patients that are the most critical enter a hospital, like they've been in an accident. You dance beautifully on stage. You dance beautifully on stage. The building was completely destroyed. The building was completely destroyed. So there was some sort of problem like a typhoon that destroyed the building. Okay. The show was very funny. The show was very funny. Vocabulary, page 12. To skip or to skip over is to not do something on a list. Frustrating. It means something is very, very annoying. Problem. Something is wrong. Instructions. Instructions is a list of things you are going to do. And they are listed in a certain order so that you get everything done. Upset. Upset. That means you feel annoyed or frustrated. Things are not going the way you want them to go. Take a break. Take a break. It means you take some time off. You don't do anything. You take a rest. Figure it out. Figure it out. It means you solve a problem. This thing is a picture puzzle here. This picture is I am a lone star. L plus 1 is lone. That means they are alone. Listen to the dialogue. I'm going to go through it twice, then you will repeat it line by line. Brett and Rose are talking. Brett is trying to put a bed together and he's having trouble with the directions, with the instructions. And Rose is trying to help him get through the problem. I can't put this bed together. It's totally frustrating. You have to follow the instructions carefully. I'm trying, but I can't understand them very clearly. What page are you working on? I'm on page 8, but our frame doesn't look like the one in the picture. Usually these problems happen because you skipped a step. I know, but I don't think I missed anything. You should take a break. It'll be easier when you're not upset. You're right. If I stop for a while, I'll figure this out. Listen one more time. I can't put this bed together. It's totally frustrating. You have to follow the instructions carefully. I'm trying, but I can't understand them very clearly. What page are you working on? I'm on page 8, but our frame doesn't look like the one in the picture. Usually these problems happen because you skipped a step. I know, but I don't think I missed anything. You should take a break. It'll be easier when you're not upset. You're right. If I stop for a while, I'll figure this out. Listen and repeat. I can't put this bed together. It's totally frustrating. You have to follow the instructions carefully. I'm trying, but I can't understand them very clearly. What page are you working on? I'm on page 8, but our frame doesn't look like the one in the picture. Usually these problems happen because you skipped a step. I know, but I don't think I missed anything. You should take a break. It'll be easier when you're not upset. You're right. If I stop for a while, I'll figure this out. One more time. You're right. If I stop for a while, I'll figure this out. Meaning chunk. These are adverbs and adverb clauses. Again, adverbs and adverb clauses. You have to follow the instructions carefully. It's totally frustrating. I can't understand them very clearly. It'll be easier when you're not upset. If I stop for a while, I'll figure this out. Usually these problems happen because you skipped a step. Okay, let's move forward. Grammar focus is on the top of page 13. This is very important for you to study this because this is on your grammar test. This is your writing test, where they're getting everything from there. Okay, adverbs. There are two kinds of adverbs, lexical and derivational. Lexical do not use the ly. Derivational use the adjective plus the ly. That's the only difference between them. Okay, notice that derivational, some of them can be used after the verb at the end of the sentence, and sometimes they're used before. Look very carefully as to where the adverbs are in the sentence so you know where they go. Okay? Lexical adverbs, verbs. Repeat, listen, and repeat. I can now understand it. I can understand it now. Adjectives. The film was very funny. Adverbs. He is speaking too quietly. Instead, we chose an indirect route. A route is a way to get somewhere. An indirect one means you took a side street or something to get there, usually because you're avoiding traffic on a major street. Derivational adverbs, which is adjective plus ly, verbs. I can clearly understand it. I can understand it clearly. Notice for this one, you can put it before the verb or after the verb. Listen and repeat. Adjectives. The film was really funny. Adverbs. He was speaking extremely quietly. Sentences. Luckily, we arrived on time. Notice if it's at the beginning of a sentence, there's a comma there. Adverbial clauses. Functions of time. Whenever I visit my mother, she prepares a lot of food. Once again, you're repeating the sentence. Listen and repeat. Have a seat over there on the bench while you wait. Before you enter the restaurant, You have to remove your shoes. Let's take a short break after we complete this section. We sat and talked outside until the sun went down. We sat and talked outside till the sun went down. Now the next sentence has something in parentheses. I mean, you can use it or you can decide not to use the word. It's used both ways. He has been lonely ever since she moved away. As soon as the teacher entered the room, the children stopped shouting. No one can talk once the exam begins. She watched as the men tried to put out the fire. Place. I will travel wherever the company wishes. I will travel wherever the company wishes. If you finish your homework, you may watch TV. This is a condition. If or unless are used in conditions. If you finish your homework, you may watch TV. We'll go to the park Sunday unless the weather is bad. Concession. This means that something won't happen even though something else did. It uses even, though, and although. If you finish your homework, you may watch TV. We'll go to the park Sunday unless the weather is bad. Concession. He can afford a car even if he gets a second job, or he can afford a car if he gets a second job. Even though he trained hard, he did not win the race. Although he trained hard, he did not win the race. They are angry. This is a reason. Reasons use because and since. They are angry because she broke her promise. Since everyone is here, we may start the meeting. He accepted the offer as he had no alternative options. An alternative is another option, another thing you can do. How it's done. Listen and repeat. How does he drive? He drives dangerously. Oh, he's texting. That's very dangerous. Okay, you don't text and drive. How does it walk? It walks slowly. How does he teach? He teaches well. How does she study? She studies hard. How does she sing? She sings terribly. How do they play? They play happily. Speaking to proper timing. Listen and repeat. When should I call? You should call as soon as you arrive. When should I start singing? You should start singing whenever you are ready. When should I ask questions? You should ask questions after the presentation is over. When should I take a break? You should take a break when it is lunchtime. When should I ring the bell? You should ring the bell as the bus turns onto 9th Street. When should I keep playing? You should keep playing until you hear the whistle. When should I turn off my phone? You should turn off your phone once you get on the plane. When should I send a resume? You should send a resume before the deadline expires. When should I paint the walls? You should paint the walls while we are out of town. So, adverbs. Vocabulary, page 15. To emigrate, to move to another country. Self-practice 1. Subordinating conjunction meanings. These are, a subordinating conjunction is the conjunction that is related to another part of a sentence. The conjunction connects two parts of a sentence. The conjunctions we're working on today are before, because, since, unless, even though, wherever, if, until, and after. Listen and repeat. Rachel is happy because she did well on her test. The answer here is H, for a reason. My family has lived in Maine since they emigrated in the 1800s. The answer is D, from a time. He'll be late unless he leaves soon. So that would be F, if not. Four, the coach praises players even though they lost the game. That would be I, despite the circumstance. 5, you'll succeed wherever you work. Wherever is a location, so that's G. If you need anything, you can contact me directly. Okay, in case that. In case that is E. 7, I waited for you until the restaurant closed. So until is C, up to a time. 8, we can celebrate after we see the reviews. That's B, later than a time. Here are the answers. H, D, F, I, G, E, C, B. So practice 2, adverbial clause types. Circle the subordinating conjunctions that best match the sentences and write time, place, condition, concession, or reason to match your choice. Listen and repeat, and circle the correct answer. If you give me a chance, I won't disappoint you. If you give me a chance, I won't disappoint you. You'll see us all again when you come back home. Since the competition was tough, we cannot admit you at this time. He wants to be a scientist when he grows up. Due follows her parents' wishes even though she disagrees. Once he tried hard, his scores improved. As the snow fell, it covered the trees and grass. She will sign the document unless it's too late. Those are your answers there. Now your reason. Okay, so going back to time, place, condition, concession, or reason. Okay, if it is always a condition, so one is condition. You'll see us all again when you come back home as a time. Okay, since competition was tough, that is a condition. So when is a time for 4. 5, even though, is a concession. Okay. Once is a time. As is a time. Unless is a condition. Okay. What I want you to do is go back through this chapter. Use Papago to understand any word look up any word you do not understand. Understand how to create an adverb using ly, and if there's a y already, change it to I. Very and really do not change. Remember that for your exam. Understand all of the vocabulary and how these adverbs are used. Remember, an adverb modifies a verb. It explains what is happening. Understand your vocabulary. Go back through your dialogue. Be able to pronounce all of these carefully and correctly. And look up all the words that you don't understand. This is a very long grammar focus. Be sure that you understand all of the adverbs, understand all of the dialogue in here, and understand the meaning of the words. Understand when and how to use these correctly. That's what you're going to be tested on your writing test. It's very important that you understand this page. Now, an adverb is used to explain how something is done. Remember these and understand them. Dangerously, slowly, well. Okay. You don't use good. You don't say he teaches good. He teaches well. Okay. Well is used to modify that. You can have a good day, which is an adjective. Well is an adverb. It means the same thing as good. Know the difference between well and good. So understand hard. In this case, it means with great intensity, not that it's difficult. Terribly and happily. Make sure you understand when you should do something. When should you do something? As, when, whenever, until. Know how to use these verbs to talk about when something has happened, using these as adverbs. And make sure you understand in here when you're using if, when, though, before, after, since, even though, as soon as, although, once, since, and unless. Be sure you understand how to use them in a sentence. If you're not sure, make some practice sentences. In fact, that's a good thing to do when you're looking at this. You can use some practice sentences to be sure you understand how to use these in a sentence. When classes resume, if you're confused, please bring this to a professor, and your professor will explain exactly how to use these in a correct sentence. Remember, look them up on Papago. There should be example sentences in Papago that will help you understand. Thank you very much, and next time we will finish off the rest of this chapter. Have a great day.